Anne-Marie. Next we have an ardent campaigner who's been speaking for years and trying to get through to the people, and she's doing a good job, and we're very proud to have her here today. Will you please welcome Muirean Bhrolchain.
A Ghuinewisle is mór an unor chumsa bheithin seo lá tá chostarú le seo agus tína cosa le Paddy Maloney a bheith láthair. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honoured to be asked to speak on such an occasion and in such a company. I'd like to thank Leisha for her invitation and congratulate both herself and Anne-Marie for this extraordinary event and their success in publicising it and bringing Steve Cooney and the likes of Paddy Maloney here among us today. As already said, this is happening not only here in Ireland. I'd like to mention both Susan McKeown in New York and Karen Wilson in LA, two wonderful women with whom I've been in touch for the last couple of weeks. It's great to see the musicians of Ireland rallying for Tara, as some of the writers and poets have done. Colm Tóibín, Colm McCann and Paul Muldoon, who is speaking at the New York event today and has written his own song for Tara, indeed, played in Navan some weeks ago with his band Racket. Not exactly what you expect from an award-winning poet. I'll try not to get too heavy today, but I think it's important to say that this campaign has essentially been going on for the best part of 8 years, when the local people in Meath first lodged their objections to the possible destructive route. This did not begin this year or last year or even when Lismullen was discovered. And people like Claire Oakes, Yolita Clancy, Tommy Hamill, Pat Rawley and many others have battled for years. And their predictions and those of the archaeologists Conor Newman and Joe Fenwick have come true. They have dug up and they are now destroying Tara's landscape, the Gowra Valley, the Valley of the White Mare. Conor Newman said in his submission to the oral hearing, people by and large did not live on Tara, they lived in the valley in the shadow of their sacred mountain. The government and the NRA's carefully constructed arguments are fast unravelling as Lismullen emerged and the threat to the wonderful promontory fort of Rathlogue is exposed. They maintained that there were 3 to 5 sites originally. Now there are at least 41 sites. There have been many peaks and troughs in this campaign, but one of the notable peaks was when Stuart Townsend visited Tara for the first occasion with the campaign in 2004. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you all to Tara tomorrow to form the first human harp to be executed by John Quigley and photographed about 3:30. Stuart and Jonathan Rhys-Myers will be present as well. Some of us who cite history and the importance of the past have been faulted for that. But we are shaped by our past, we are formed by our past, and we here today forge that past for future generations. We are only the guardians of our landscape and our planet, and do we have the right to change utterly its appearance? No. Seamus Heaney notably sent a message to the campaign some weeks ago saying, "It could be said that the campaign to save Tara is putting its case in the name of the dead generations. For the past 2 millennia, those generations regarded Tara as a place invested with sacred as opposed to secular value. Protest against the loss of this value remains an imperative." Colm McCann echoed this sentiment earlier this year in the LA Times when he said, "But we bury the past only if we're ashamed of it. We have a responsibility to heritage, environment and indeed imagination. Yet most meaningful Irish debates these days seem to take place only in the realm of time and money. Half hours are crucial to the economics of the future." If the government succeeds in destroying this landscape, nowhere in Ireland is safe from development. Would we drive a road through Clonmacnoise or Glendalough? Would we recycle the Book of Kells and preserve it by record? I would have said no. But after this, any act of cultural vandalism is possible. It is fitting that it is the Harpers of Ireland and the diaspora who are showing their horror at this project. Poets and harpers were two of the most important and revered figures in early Ireland. They are mentioned in the stories, but they were usually male in those days. I see that most of the harpers behind me now are women, so power to the women. When the god Lug put himself forward as the leader of the Tuatha Dé Danann on Tara, he played the harp to show his talents and played the three different types of music: sad music, happy music and sleep music. And these are the three types of music that we still recognise as being important within Irish tradition today. We know next to nothing about the pre-Christian beliefs of the Irish, but they had a firm belief in the sanctity of their landscape. Everywhere had a name associated with gods and goddesses. The Boyne River is the goddess Boan, the River Inny is the goddess Etna, Owen Macha is named for the goddess Macha. I could go on and on. There is the same reverence here for place that is found among the Native American Indians of North America. Our stories are embedded in this landscape. How can the stories survive without it? Keith Basso, an archaeologist who has spent decades researching with the Native American Apache Indians of North Dakota, has said of the importance of place names and their traditions. Placeless events are impossible. Everything that happens must happen somewhere. For these reasons, placeless stories simply do not get told. So what happens to our stories as our landscape disappears? Our myths have disappeared by and large, and now we are losing the language that describes our places, our names, and particularly our place names. There were and there are alternatives, and let us not forget that, and point the finger firmly where the blame lies. Number one at the Taoiseach Bertie Ahern, and number two at Noel Dempsey, who is now the Minister for Transport, the local TD from Meath, who was the Minister for the Environment when all these crucial decisions were being made. The only independent survey on this matter carried out by Red Sea showed that 70% of the people of Ireland wanted the road rerouted out of the valley. That was 2.5 years ago. This is the type of survey that reflects or would be the same as a referendum vote. This is not a democratic decision. To finish up, on the tiny island of Los Lobos, off the island of Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands, in common with many other national parks, the people are asked to simply take nothing but memories, leave nothing but footprints. The saying is attributed to Chief Seattle, and many other quotes are attributed to him as well. He said, "You must teach your children that the ground beneath their feet is the ashes of your grandfathers, so that they will respect the land. Tell your children that the earth is rich with the lives of our kin. Teach your children what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. If men spit upon the ground, they spit upon themselves. If this road is ever built, let us remember what the drivers will be driving over. The dwelling places, the ritual sites, the sacred places, and most importantly, the burial places of your and of my ancestors." Thank you.